Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning for everybody here. I'm sharing my presentation for all of you. Indeed, I'm so happy and so pleased to be in this international conference. Thanks for E20 to give me the chance to talk about distance learning during the lockdown. At the beginning, it's really my honor sharing you the most important ways that Ministry of Education here in Palestine was established for distance learning. From me here, Omar Hamad, teacher of English from Palestine at Al-Israr al-Qabandi School, secondary school. You know about Palestine. It's a small country in the Middle East near Egypt. If you know Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and something like this. I have just to mention about my country. I teach English languages for secondary school since 2010. I'm so happy that I will talk about the investment in the quarantine according to Palestine state. By the announcement from the Prime Minister about this coronavirus and the emergency status for all human here, for all people around my country. So we started dealing with all people to focus on being in the quarantine. And the first thing that Minister of Education started to design for schools because of the closure of schools since 8th of March 2020. So long time that we have to deal with our students. So I will find here some ways that we discussed with uh, we will discuss together about the ways. As you know that we have here a WAFID site. Uh, we have also here Minister of Education radio, Google Classroom, open platforms, WhatsApp groups. All of these ways are what I can say are important for distance learning for our students here in Palestine. So I at first for Rawafid side, and this is in advance. It's prepared before. It's full of materials for all grades from level 1 to level 12, grade 1 to grade 12. Full of videos, full of materials that can any student share and any student get from this site. Rawafid Gate, indeed, during coronavirus, number of visitors during coronavirus, 500,000 students. Also, the number of sessions is 1 million. The number of pages of views more than 6 million. This is indeed a huge number of participants from students, and this is the gate of this site, full of items, full of materials that students can share what he wants and can get what he wants directly. Also, I will talk about Minister of Education radio because we have problem in internet access. So directly, the Minister of Education started presenting live videos for students who have their Facebook accounts and to share them directly these materials for all grades, and they want to watch, and thousands of students get benefits from this live. Also, some students they didn't have a connection or didn't have mobiles or laptops. They can just open their radios 102.1 and they can get the materials directly in easy way indeed. Also, we will talk about Google Classrooms that Minister of Education designed for the secondary school students. They can just send their emails, and teachers, supervisors cooperate together to send directly in the materials to their students. By the way, all these items help the student to be close to the teacher. Also, we have a lot of platforms directly. The teacher build their Zooms by Zoom, by GC Meet, by Google Meet, and they make a lot of participation with their students individually, teacher with student, or teacher with the teachers around or the country and students. Also, we have a WhatsApp groups, and we use social media networks. Indeed, um, with a big chance for students to they can call the teachers, they can send the questions, and etc. So, if I want to summarize that investments, according to me as a teacher during the quarantine, indeed, many teachers enrolled in free courses during the quarantine period. Also, participation in many international conferences like this amazing conference, attending global and local webinars. Also, the teachers develop their capabilities in dealing with electronic platforms. And indeed, necessity is the mother of invention. And during the coronavirus, many teachers got a lot of benefits, a lot of skills how to deal with technology. These are photos that for the webinars and for sharing. I think that you can maybe you see that. Okay, at the end, really, thank you very much for letting me here to be with you. Thanks for Olga uh, to give me the chance to participate, and thanks for all who just motivate us in this period of time. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you.
Hello, I am Barka Qadar from Morocco. I'm really very happy to participate in this great international conference on distance learning during the lockdown. So first, I'd like to thank Olga and Michela and all the team for organizing committee for giving me this opportunity. Well, I'm going to talk about the distance learning during the lockdown in Morocco, just to give you an idea of how things went in our country. As the Moroccan government, let's say, declared the state of emergency, we had the borders locked down, and let's say planes and airports were just frozen. Nobody was able to come into the country, and nobody was able to go out. So it was a kind of freezing situation in which caused a lot of problems and harm to families who got stuck outside or inside. We had also the lockdown of public places like cafes, cinemas, public baths, parks, beaches. Nobody could go out unless they have something very interesting to do, like shopping or like going bring in medical or medicines to a member of the family who needs them. Well, similarly, the educational institutions like schools, universities, training centers, educational centers, all were locked, and the ministry decided to substitute the physical or lessons with distance learning. Now, this distance learning, which was imposed by the state of emergency and the measures of security from the virus breakdown, had a lot of. It was surprising to everyone. Nobody was, especially I'm talking about the Morocco. Nobody was ready to shift from physical education and classrooms into the distance learning. However, teachers got involved in it, got engaged, and they started recording videos for for television channels that were asked to broadcast the lessons to children, to students from all over the world. So the teachers, it was a challenge for them, but because not all of them were professionally trained to, let's say, to do e-learning or distance learning. A lot of them still have problems with, let's say, basic computer skills. So they were not really very prepared to take such a step. It was also a great challenge for students because some of them, or the majority of them, have had smartphones, but they use them only for social media. So getting into a platform like Microsoft Teams, like Classroom, like Zoom, and so on, it was a serious challenge for them. They didn't know exactly how to do it and how to join the classes. Okay, and for parents, because they had to provide, let's say, the expenses of internet connection for their children, if they have 3 children, and they need a lot of money in order to cover, let's say, the expenses of the internet, and they need also mobile phones, smartphones, because the majority don't have computers or tablets and so on. In distance areas or zones, even networking, even the coverage of the internet is not there, so they don't have, the internet is not available at all. Even though if they have the devices, they cannot catch up with the rest. Among these, so the parents started, let's say, raising this question, and they imposed on the ministry to, let's say, to consider that this distance learning is not really official, and it can't be considered in the exams. In the exams given to students. So that's why we see for the baccalaureate students, for example, the lessons covered before the COVID-19 are the lessons to be considered in the questions and in the syllabus for the exam. And this was in remarkably or relatively good point, good for students who didn't have the opportunity to catch up with distance learning. Okay, so there were at the same time there were a lot of like private schools, like let's say creative teachers who tried different tools, different platforms like WhatsApp. The majority used WhatsApp because it's easier and it can convey, it allows a lot of, though it doesn't allow to share screens and so on, but the teachers recorded videos and shared them with their students, and they were able also to ask questions and interact with their students. So in my view, it's one of the most used tools in Moroccan context. We have also Teams, Microsoft Teams, which is officially used by the government's website, Masar, and all teachers have got an account on Teams, and they were they helped them to create classrooms, virtual classrooms in their account, in the official account on Masar, which is let's say sponsored and maintained by Microsoft. So for Teams, I personally did a lot of, let's say, tutorials, creative tutorials for my colleagues to help them, let's say, use Teams effectively. And we can find a lot of videos on YouTube, of course. Another platform which is widely used was Zoom. Unfortunately, it's not free, and it allowed only for 14 minutes for in free accounts. So we had to shift every time from one Zoom session into another. So if the meeting is long, then we had to create a lot of sessions. Google Meet also was recently before after the Google allowed more than 12 people, which used to be the maximum number of participants. So now it's they say 100, but in practice it's about 36. Anyways, so Google Meet also has become one of the used tools for interactivity and meetings and lessons between teachers and students. We have also Google Classroom, which is some teachers found it user-friendly, but some of them, didn't like it because it lacked that instant or synchronous aspect, which gives direct meeting, face-to-face meeting, or let's say virtual meeting with video and or audio. Okay, we have BackTV. It's one of the platforms that developed recently, and it provided a lot of lessons in different aspects, different school subjects for students and teachers. YouTube also was widely used, and everyone referred to it to find out their resources for their courses. Okay, so these are the main tools. Now, some of the advantages of this situation, which was imposed on us by COVID-19, is that it allowed professional development. It gave a boost to professional development. A lot of teachers started learning how to use things, how to use tools. Okay, so it was unplanned, let's say, training. It was training which happened haphazardly just because of the COVID-19 breakdown. We have more collaboration at the global level. Teachers all over the world started to share best practices, and this is an example. This conference itself has come as a manifestation of this global collaboration, which has developed drastically in this breakdown, and it was something we should be proud of, and we should maintain even after COVID is over. We have more e-learning by the government with more care. Now the government, especially in Morocco, they try to pay more attention. They asked the regional academies to find funds to buy, for example, tablets to students in the region, in the south, for example. A regional council bought tablets to all the students of the region, and this was a huge step compared to what was before. So more care about e-learning by the government. So this is it. I think they have discovered that e-learning is not, or distance learning with all its aspects, is not only a way to save ourselves to it. No, it is an independent way of learning that should be, let's say, considered as with all its components. Okay, it's not only in emergency times. And of course, we discovered also that this kind of learning is environmental friendly, because it saves people from that everyday commuting, and wasting a lot of fuel in moving from their homes to the schools. Okay, so I think it is environmental friendly in this perspective, and we have to maintain part of it. Okay, we have to thank not COVID, but to thank the situation of the development of e-learning in this way. We have to thank e-learning for being so environmental friendly, and we have to adopt a lot of solutions proposed by them. Okay, so the big question that comes to my mind is, will e-learning be cared of as a legitimate part of our educational system, or will it be just overlooked as, an instant or related to a moment? I personally hope that this distance learning should be considered and should be integrated as part of our educational system. Thank you very much. Okay, so good luck to everyone.
Hello everybody, I am Necpatcha from Turkey. First of all, I would like to thank Olga Mosca for inviting me to this international event. I'm very glad to be here. Today I'll talk about the pandemic period in Turkey briefly. In Turkey we use EBA platform. The schools were closed on 18th of March in Turkey and we started distance learning on 23rd of March. We already have an online education platform in Turkey. Its name is EBA. It means Education, IT, and Education IT Network. Students and teachers are using this platform more actively these days. There are more contents than before. In this platform, there are many sources for primary, secondary, and high school students. The students have their own usernames and passwords, and teachers can choose the content according to their lesson plan, and the students study them as homework. You can see the photos on the screen. The students study the subjects for English as in this picture. There are basic skills for English like listening, vocabulary, grammar, writing, speaking. Teachers can send online exams for the subject and check the results for each student. We can create our own exercise, tests, courses, and we can check the performance of our students. There are many advantages of EBA. Some of them are that teachers can prepare their own sources, exams, online lessons, etc. And also we can prepare our own videos, pictures, audio files. And there is an online library for students, and the students can do research by using this library. It's free. Our Ministry of National Education and opened a TV channel for education. Students are following their lessons by watching the programs. And also we use social media to give extra homeworks for students. You can see the photos for of the students. They made clothes at home and sent them by using WhatsApp to their teachers. And also in Turkey, every day we have online events. Some days we have more than one event. We learn about new approaches and web tools in each. Some teachers tell about their projects, sample projects. You can see the posters of these events. And also national education directorates have their own teams develop content in their provinces. All of these show us that teachers who prepare projects in e-teaching have a lot of experience and they are luckier because if you are an e-tuner, you already do this not only in the pandemic period but also we were doing this before pandemic. And teachers in Turkey use the other online applications like Zoom, Adobe Connect, and G Suite to have online connections with their students. Now I will show you some examples. And I'm an e-tuner, and we are doing some e-tuning projects. One of them is that we had an online animation course 2 weeks ago, and an educator showed us how to prepare an online animation by using Zoom. And there's another project work. Its name is Let's Go Back to Our Village. We are in this project with Olga, and before pandemia, we were visiting the village and we were preparing documentaries, but now we can't go out, so we are going to the village. We are having online village trips. The students are preparing their presentations and they are talking about this village to their partner schools. In this photo, you see that the students are talking about their village. And the last example is that this connection was between Turkey and Italy, and I think there were some other countries too. Olga organized this event, and we had an online connection with an Italian pasta factory, and they showed us how to prepare an Italian pasta. Thank you for listening to me, and good luck to the other speakers. Bye bye.